So FOLA has traditionally used our June meeting to have a bit of a strategic planning session. And in the last few years, we've sort of alternated years, tying into a chair's term in office. And so we had a strategic planning meeting this past June. And we were trying to establish a list of priorities, recognizing the fact that we are a volunteer board with a fixed amount of resources available. So we tried to establish some long-term and short-term objectives and develop specific action plans and measurements to determine whether we were meeting those. So the main areas that we identified were communication, big surprise, learn, bencher relations, government relations, full succession planning and recruitment, and a crisis management protocol. We have recognized over the past few years and have been working hard to ensure that we are communicating better with our associations. I think there was some concern a number of years ago that things were going on that associations weren't aware of or didn't understand what was going on, and so we have been working hard and continuing to work hard to improve our consultation process and share progress reports. And of course, evidence of that is getting the motion out to you early so that you could go to your boards, review it, discuss it, give us feedback, and we hope to continue to do that. So our short-term objective is providing subject matter information through either website, emails, and so on. It's difficult because we're all busy and we all get hundreds of emails every day, and it's resisting that temptation to hit the delete button or stick it off in a folder and say, oh, I'm going to read that next week, and suddenly it's plenary again. So what we are trying to develop is providing you with consistent information and opening the doors to feedback. On Learn, we've achieved our short-term goal of completing the USA, and now succession planning with the new board and the new chair. What our long-term goal is to provide stable and predictable funding, maintaining association control over staffing, and getting input from both you and members of your associations. So we did obviously retain external counsel to assist us with that. We hope to maintain regular contact both with you and your library technicians, and again work with the feedback that we get to move on. Bencher relations, there are a number of benchers that will be joining us. A number of the newly elected benchers have taken an interest in us, and sadly, despite our efforts, most of them don't seem to know who we are and what we're all about. And the feedback that we've received sort of anecdotally is that they think that our only concern is with libraries, and of course that is a principal concern. Most associations are built up around their library, but we all do so much more. So we are trying to educate them and invite them to our events, and I encourage you to speak with them, introduce yourself, try and let them know what is on your mind and what is on your association's mind with respect to the Law Society. We want to create a good working and respectful relationship. I think we've made great strides in that. My sort of mantra is that it shouldn't be an us and them. We can work collaboratively. The best thing for the Law Society is that we have competent and capable lawyers practicing in this province, and they can assist us in that as opposed to focusing on the downside of how many lawyers have been disciplined and things of that nature. So we want to celebrate the successes, not focus on the people that haven't met the standard or are causing difficulties. So we continue to meet with benchers. I have volunteered myself as sort of a liaison with the benchers. I think that it's a good role for the first vice, and I'll probably suggest that to John as he assumes the role. Government relations. So you've seen some of our efforts, Katie's comments today. They are reaching out to us. They are asking us questions, although, as I said, sometimes They give us very short turnaround times, or you get the email at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon and they want something by the next Wednesday or something. It's difficult, especially if it's in the summer. So we are trying to arrange those meetings. I encourage you to consider coming to Lobby Day. I think it's important to meet your local member and communicate with them, let them know who you are. Obviously, they're concerned about their constituency. The most important thing for politicians is getting elected the next time, and if you speak on behalf of all the lawyers in your association and all of the clients, that's going to carry some clout. So we're continuing to open the lines of communication both at the provincial and the federal level. Succession planning and recruitment. So we continue to have a variety of roles for people to participate in committees, and thank you for those of you who have stepped up on a variety of committees. There is a transition in our board regularly, so please give that some thought. Speak to your regional representative to get some sense of where the progress might be, because we would encourage you to consider joining our board. It's very important. One of the joys of this board is we all get to meet from across the province, and those connections are important, and hearing about your concerns are very important. We are updating our bylaws. Thanks to Eldon, again, for taking charge of that. And Bridget, I think, is also helping with that. I kind of facetiously suggested something about crisis management because that seems to be what we do. Every chair, I think, comes on board and thinks this is the big issue, and then some bomb gets dropped on us, like legal aid. And I've now been on the board for a number of years and seen this happen time and time again. You are going merrily along, you think things are great, and then all of a sudden something blows up in your face and you've got to turn around and deal with it. So we have tried to develop sort of a rapid response template. So someone who will take charge of the issue, try to get the information with Katie's assistance, develop a game plan, triage it, figure out what steps we need to take, what timeline we're working within. Can this be something that we can deal with on our own, or do we need to reach out to some of you who might have expertise in the area? But the timing is the big issue, and of course, we all have other jobs and things that we're doing. So these are some of the things that we are thinking about and working through, and we all welcome any feedback, any suggestions, things that you think that we should be attuned to. It's not that often that we're getting emails. All of our emails are on the website. So if there's something particular, don't wait till plenary. Please bring it to our attention so that we can address it sooner as opposed to later. So that's my report, and I think we're on time, maybe a little ahead. Jane Robertson, our treasurer, will provide her report.